Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for checking in. It is Friday, Funny Friday, a regular feature of Live with Lorielle New, where we share jokes to put everybody in a good mood for the weekend. So I hope you have some jokes to share with everybody. Thank you for checking in. Let me say hello to everybody. Laura Star and Shocker and Sturgis Guy and T says, and how's Dave and Sam and St. Clinton and Eric and Petey and Tim and Ryan and Photo and Philip and Mark Mean and Star Raven and Angie Jonas and Fairies Lover and Lucky Girl and Azure Yusuf and the Crim and Marcel and Jim Dandy and Sturgis Guy and Bill Knaus and Scott Kimmis and Marcel and Azure Yusuf and Philip Chandler and Sam and St. Clinton and Fairies Lover and Lucky Girl and Joe Barney and Red Stapler and N1QOV. Thank you for checking in. Let me say hello to everybody. Hello! And if you're watching on YouTube, I am live. Oh, goodness, there's a long one. I got to put my glasses on for this. I am live on YouTube and Google Hangouts. There is a lag, but I am reading both comments. And if you have a joke, write the whole thing in and the answer, and I will try not to ruin it. Marcel says, I used to date a girl with a lazy eye. Turned out she was seeing someone else the whole time. Marcel says, a woman went to a bar in a quiet rural pub. She gestured alluringly to the bartender who approached her. She seductively signaled that he should bring his face closer to her. As he did, she gently caressed his full beard. Are you the manager? She asked, stroking softly his face with both hands. Actually, no, he replied. Can you get him for me? I need to speak to him, she said, running her hands beyond his beard and into his hair. I'm afraid I can't, breathed the bartender. Is there anything I can do? Yes. I need you to give him a message, she continued to massage, running her forefinger across the bartender's lip and slyly popping a couple of his fingers into his mouth and allowing him to suck on them. What should I tell him? Said the flustered bartender. Tell him, she whispered, that there's no toilet paper, paper towels, or hand wipes in the ladies' room. David Jones says, two Teutonic plates ran into each other, and one of them says, oh, my fault, bump. That's a little bit of geographic wordplay. I like that one, Shocker. Woohoo! And hello to everybody on YouTube. Woohoo! David Jones says, my girlfriend found out I replaced our bed with a trampoline. She hit the roof. A man was walking his dog through the graveyard when he saw another man crouching behind a gravestone. Morning, he said, and the other man replied, no, just having a poop. I must be in my neighborhood. The password. I think I might have missed one. We used it before. Wait, I forgot it. Alert is laughing about the one with the password. Oops, I did that wrong. I'm not really calling you users. That's how. Hello, Marcel and David Jones and Linda and Bill Knaus. Sue! Sue is here. Hello, Sue and Wing Doggy. Oh, that one. Yes. Marcel says, how do you sell a deaf man a chicken? You lean in real close and say, you want to buy a chicken? Oh, yes. That one. I remember that one a lot. Hello, Sue. David Jones has one that says, Gandhi, as you know, often went on several hunger strikes. This left his body somewhat feeble, and he refused to eat animal protein or anything that was not in accordance with his beliefs, leaving him with surprisingly bad breath. Gandhi was also known to live a humble lifestyle, often forgoing shoes and accumulating many foot problems as well. Essentially, Gandhi was a super calloused, fragile mystic hexed with halitosis. Oh! Super calloused, fragile mystic hexed with halitosis. And if you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Linda's got one. It says, the teacher says, okay, kids, what does the chicken give you? And the student says, chicken, drumsticks. And the teacher says, very good. And what does a pig give you? Bacon, ham. And the teacher says, great. And what does a fat cow give you? The student says, homework. You're not going to pass this year. How do you feel about staying back, Laura? Marcel says, what's the difference between a bad golfer and a bad skydiver? One goes, whack, damn. And the other one goes, damn, whack. Yes, see, that's from Mary Poppins. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. If you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Umdalilla, do 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 do. I don't know the rest of the song. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Supercalist fragile mystic. Hexed with halitosis. Marcel says, and not to forget, there is also a Prince song, Super Funky Califragisexy. That's right. Marcel is a huge Prince fan. Oh, Marcel, I forgot. Last week when we were driving, we saw a what is it? What is those fancy cars? Really fancy cars. Is it an Aston Martin? No. That Maybach. We saw Prince's car. I forget. It's really fancy. It's like Silver Shadow. No. It was like a Maybach. No, I'm totally forgetting. No, a sedan. Like you said before, not a Lamborghini, not a BMW. No, the really fancy, the Super Shadow kind that cost like $200,000. It was purple and black. It was purple and black. No, not a little car. Not a little car. The real fancy kind. Like the Silver Shadow. Is it Aston Martin? No, not a Rolls Royce, but the other one. I think Kim Kardashian has one. No, not those. Not a regular car. It's not a regular car at all. We were driving and we saw it. It was Prince's car and it was purple and black. Super. Had 4 or 5 wheels. I think it had 4 wheels. Yeah, it was, I am forgetting the name of those cars. You see, I'm totally not a car person. They have one. Some of them are their Super Shadows. What's it like? What kind of car is the Maybach? Marcel has another one, another long one. No, not a Mercedes. No, not a regular car. The Maybach, the like Silver Shadow. Not a Rolls Royce, but okay. Bentley. Yeah. Yes, a Bentley. I couldn't remember the name. So there's a musical, yes, a Bentley. So there's a musical toilet, and whoever sits on it, the toilet will sing you a song. So the first guy, Bob, goes in and comes out, and a guy named Larry says, "So what did the toilet sing for you?" And the guy says, "A Star Spangled Banner." And then another guy, Jerry, goes in, and he comes out, and he looks very embarrassed. And his friend asks, "Well, what did the toilet sing for you, Jerry?" And Jerry says, "Do you see what I see?" Yeah, Bentley. Bentley is the car I was thinking of. It was purple and black. And it was like matte purple and then shiny black. And it looked like a car out of like Batman or Dick Tracy. It was painted, it looked like a cartoon car. Okay, David Jones has a long one. Gentlemen, the story I'm about to relate takes place in the distant future. Interstellar travel is commonplace. Contacts with alien race are familiar experiences. One day, however, a planet is discovered out Antares Way, whose sole inhabitant is a enormous humanoid 3 miles high and made of granite. At first, it is mistaken for an immense statue left by some vanished race of giants, for it sits motionless on a yellow plain exhibiting no outward signs of life. It has legs, but it never rises to walk on them. It has a mouth but never eats or speaks. It has what appears to be a perfectly functioning brain the size of a four-store condominium, but the organ lies dormant. Electromagnetical activity is standstill, and yet it lives. This puzzled the hell out of the scientists, who try everything they can to get some sign of life from the behemoth. In vain, it just squats motionless and seemingly thoughtless until one day a xenobiologist, frustrated beyond endurance, screams, "How could evolution give legs, mouth, and a brain to a creature that doesn't use them?" It happens that he's the first one to ask a direct question to the thing's presence. It rises with the thunderous rumble to its full height, scattering the clouds, thinks for a second, booms, "It couldn't," and squats down again. "My God," explains the xenobiologist, "of course. It only stands for a reason. It only stands to reason." That is really long. That is a really long joke. I think I totally butchered that one. And then it squashed the xenobiologist. As long as I don't remember the purple wombat joke. So a horse walks into a bar and orders a beer. The bartender says, "That'll be $8.50. The horse pays and drinks his beer. The bartender says, "We don't get many horses in here." And the horse says, "Yeah, well, with prices like that, what do you expect?" Linda says, "I had a broken vacuum cleaner. Then I put a One Direction sticker on it, and suddenly it sucked again. Take that, One Direction!" So this guy says, "What? You don't know what the purple wombat is?" Is that a joke that we've told before? I may have forgotten. It's Funny Friday, where we share jokes to put everybody in a good mood for the weekend. I hope you have some good weekend plans coming up, because I do. Oh, we got another long one. I gotta put my glasses on to read this long. A frog goes into a bank and approaches the teller. He can see that her nameplate says that her name is Patricia Whack. So he says, "Ms. Whack, I'd like to get a loan to buy a boat and go on a long vacation." Patty looks down at the frog in disbelief and says, "How much did you want to borrow?" And the frog says, $30,000. The teller asks his name, and the frog says that his name is Kermit Jagger. His dad is Mick Jagger, and that it's okay. He knows the bank manager. Patty explains that $30,000 is a substantial amount of money, and she'll need to secure some sort of collateral against a loan. She asks if he has anything he can use as collateral. The frog says, "Sure, I have this." And he produces a tiny porcelain pig about half an inch tall, bright pink and perfectly formed. Very confused, Patty explains that she'll have to consult with the manager and disappears into a back office. She finds the manager and says, "There's a frog called Kermit Jagger out here who claims that to know you and wants to borrow $30,000. He wants to use this as collateral." She holds up the tiny pink pig. "What the heck is this?" And the bank manager looks at her and says, "It's a knick-knack, Patty Whack. Give the frog a loan. His old man's a rolling stone." That's a really long setup for that. Marcel says, an American named Lorielle and her friend are having a conversation. Lorielle says, I just bought a toilet brush. And her friend says, oh, how do you like it? And Lorielle says, it's fine, but I think I prefer toilet paper instead. Ah, they do things different in Europe. The toilet brush. Linda says, did you hear about the guy whose whole left side was cut off? He's all right now. But It's a toilet brush. I think I'll just stick to the bidet. I like the bidet. A sink for your butt. Yeah. Bidet, they went with the name bidet because butt sink sounded, well, it just sounded nicer than butt sink. Bidet, butt sink. Linda says, what has 8 arms and an IQ of 60? 4 guys drinking Bud Light and watching a football game. Why does it have to be Bud Light? Can it be Miller? Or Coors? What do turkeys say in outer space? Hubble, 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 hubble. Hubble, 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 hubble. They famed. Oh, we got a long one here. David Jones says, a man named Randall, who is tired of his nagging wife, goes to see his friend Artie, who is a professional hitman. He says, Artie, I cannot stand my wife. I want to pay you to kill her. Artie says, man, I hate your wife more than you do. I'd do it for free. The man says, Artie, I just can't do that on principle. I have to pay you something. Artie looks at him and tells him that he will do it for $1. So they agree and shake on it. The next day, Artie goes to the man's house when he's at work and rings the doorbell. The man's wife answers the door, and Artie strangles her. Just as he is finishing up, the maid walks in and screams. Artie then strangles her, and as he's finishing strangling the maid, the butler comes in, and he sees to see why the maid is screaming. The Artie is forced to strangle him too. Artie then runs away and is arrested a few hours later. The next day, the headline reads, Artie chokes 3 for $1 at Randall's. Artie chokes 3 for $1 at Randall's. Ah, artichokes. That's a really long payoff. A rabbit walks into a bakery and says, hey, you got any carrot cake? The baker comes back and says, well, we're all sold out. Come back tomorrow. And the rabbit says, okay, and he hops on out. The rabbit comes back tomorrow with the same question. Hey, you got any carrot cake? The baker says, oh, I'm so sorry, it's the holidays. I just didn't get to it. Please, I give you my word, I will get the carrot cake made. The rabbit says, okay, and hops out. The baker stays up late, really, really late. It's the holidays, but he gets the carrot cake made. Then he gets a couple of hours of sleep and puts the cake aside. The rabbit hops in later that day and says, hey, you got any carrot cake? And the baker says, yes, I do. I stayed up late, but it's all done and it's right over here. And the rabbit says, I hate carrot cake. Then why are you asking? That's impossible. Rabbits love carrot cake. Linda says, how come oysters never donate to charity? Because they're shellfish. Take that, oysters. Marcel says, 2 muffins are in an oven, and one says to the other, shit, bro, we're gonna cook. And the other one replies, what the fuck, a talking muffin? Two muffins are in an oven. One says to the other, shit, bro, we're gonna cook. And the other replies, what the fuck, a talking muffin? That one might sneak up on you. Gloria says her favorite one is, how many kids with ADHD does it take to change a light bulb? Let's go play with bikes! Never gets old. There was a couple others. I need to write down my favorites because every now and then you guys put up a couple that I laugh hysterically at, and I say I'm gonna remember this one, and then I don't. Marcel has one. A man walks into a petrol station and says, "Can I get a Kit Kat Chunky?" And the lady behind the till gets him a Kit Kat Chunky and brings it over to him. And the man says, "No! I want a normal Kit Kat, you fat bitch!" Ah! Hey! No need to be name-calling. Go get your Kit Kat somewhere else. Do you know they have all their flavors of Kit Kat in other countries? They have flavors of Kit Kats and candy bars that we don't have here. Like mint, green tea, crazy flavors, delicious flavors. Why don't we have them here? Linda says, 2 men are talking, and one of them says to the other, "So, how's your sex life?" And the other guy says, "Oh, nothing special. I'm having Social Security sex." And the other guy says, "Social Security sex? What's that?" And the first man says, "Yeah, you know, I get a little each month, but not enough to live on." I get a little each month, but not enough to live on. Marcel says, whilst in America, my son and I were shopping at Walmart, and I asked the cashier if they had Kinder eggs. "Oh, no, sir," said the cashier. "We don't sell those here in the States because they're a health hazard." "Oh, okay," I replied. "So then I'll just take these 2 assault rifles instead." "Very well, sir. Cash, credit, or..." Marcel says, I'm starting to get self-conscious about my body odor. On my last 2 dates, the woman sprayed me with perfume before we had sex. I'm not sure what kind of brand it was, but it had a distinct, sharp, peppery smell. Ah! Oh. Rape isn't funny. Alright, oh my goodness, it's already 5:51. Where does the time go? Linda says, what do you call a belt with a watch on it? A waste of time. And see, so I'm, oh goodness, I just realized that there, St. Clinton is on YouTube, sorry. St. Clinton says, what's the difference between a cat and a kitten? Not sure if I can say this outside, but the difference between a cat and a kitten, a little pussy never hurt anybody. St. Clinton says, always remember that black cyberpunks rule the world and nerds are just so-so. Speaking of nerds, Andre Meadows, the black nerd, has just hit a milestone of like 7,170,000,000 views and thousands of Instagrams and Twitters and Facebooks and YouTubes. He's got crazy numbers. Andre Meadows, who I interviewed in my living room on live video, turning into a gigantic international superstar. Yay, Andre! Special shout out to our friend Andre and his continued success. So I am just about to sign off, but I want to thank you guys for coming to see me because you're awesome. I'll be back on Monday at 5:15 Los Angeles time. I think. Actually, I might have a premiere on Monday. I will have to send you a Twitter because I don't remember what time it starts. Thank you for checking in. Let me say goodbye to everybody. Laura Starr and Shocker and Sturgis Guy and Tesis and House of Dave and Sam and St. Clinton and Eric and Petey and Tim and Ryan and Photo and Philip and Mark Mean and Star Raven and Angie Jonas and Fairies Lover and Lucky Girl and Azure Yusuf and the Cram and Marcel and Jim Dandy and Sturgis Guy and Bill Knaus and Scott Kimmis and Wing Doggy and Angie Jonas and Fairies Lover and Lucky Girl, Sam and St. Clinton and Philip Chandler and N1QOV and Joe Barney and Red Stapler. Thank you for checking in. Kisses for everybody. I love you. I love you. Bye to everybody on YouTube. Bye. Have an awesome weekend. Bye.